Otter Storage started in 2019. It's an organization I joined just over a year ago. Over that time period, as they acquired more facilities and it got more difficult to manage the day to day, unfortunately, I think some things started falling through the cracks as they went along. So I was brought in to handle repairs, maintenance, preventative maintenance, CapEx. And the reason for that is to build out the kind of the day-to-day foundational operations that our maintenance technicians are. There are 1099 contractors that are on the ground for us. So it's make sure that we are kind of following through and building out workflows, ticketing, different initiatives to continue to provide a good customer experience, to have a high brand standard, and to be proactive in taking care of customer issues instead of being reactive. The goal is to, in this business, I think if you can go remote, it is possible, it is feasible. It's difficult because there are some complexities there, having the right software and technology, the right people in place, coaching, developing people, from afar. It's still difficult. And then you have to have true oversight. So you have to build up there not only cameras, but activity on the ground of, folks finding a way to alert us in Chicago, for example, of the activities that are going on in Washington, right? How do we do that? And that's where I think nodaFi comes in. We were the very first self-storage customer that nodaFi had. So I kind of signed off on it as soon as I saw the product and got a kind of a test run how we could utilize it. One of the big selling points to me was nodaFi was more out of the box, right? You had to do a lot of tweaks, and we continue to tweak it, make it better for us. I've been multi-unit management my whole professional career. And so as I saw nodaFi, I think one of the biggest things I had to help this team apply to was that thought of that oversight of management that I talked about earlier. How do I manage? I've managed stores in Kansas City while living in Chicago. So, where I visit bi-monthly. I applied the same concepts to the remote model because it just made sense. And using this as guiding these folks in the field of what the activities they should be doing on the grounds every day. So that way they go to the site with a list of things to do versus going to the site and telling us what's going on. They will tell us a little bit, but directionally we are pointing them on what we need them to look at. And then when they find what we've asked them to find, essentially they're reporting it. So you do have activities where customers will vacate the units. They do have the power through nodaFi, through the website to alert us that they vacated, but a lot of people don't. They do what I do, which is just leave. There will be those type of activities that our maintenance technicians will find on the grounds, or different things that happen, right? A tree will fall over and they'll come across it, things like that. So there's always still things they'll find that, but a lot of times we tell them through a checklist, do a lock check. And because they were told in their checklist when they get in on the grounds, that checklist should tell them to do a lock check. They'll find the vacant unit, put in a ticket, and alert us. And then we have that. We have the generalized tickets that we already knew that were issues going in. Like this customer said they moved out, get the unit ready by sweeping, cleaning, baiting it for pest control, and then resecuring the door and closing it up, basically. So you have to have scale, I think, before you start building your own proprietary software and spend that time and money. And you also have to hire someone to do that. And we had someone trying to internally do it and then outsource the coding. And again, if you don't understand the business while trying to code the business, while trying to teach the business, it just doesn't make sense. Where, we had a lot of free reign to, set up, assets and workflows just internally based off of our knowledge of the business. If you actually do the workflows and start thinking about it, it's actually like, okay, you find it, create a ticket, then who's that ticket go to, right? Who has to do the investigation to find out what tenant that might be? Like trying to do that through your own proprietary software can get really, really confusing and difficult, where using nodaFi, it's easy to do, and you can get it to every department we need. We can send that ticket to, once we figure out who it might be, actually, let's pretend we can't figure out. We can send it to our security monitoring team or our video teams. They can watch on camera to see what person used their gate code. And that ticket then can go to our customer service department to call that person, to tell them they're in the wrong unit. They're going to transfer them in the system. Then it can go back to us to make sure that the unit is secured properly, that it's done, then we can close out the ticket. And the idea nodaFi can get all of our departments to do that. Is huge. In my time, the amount of software rollouts I've seen is crazy, right? Like there's been so many at every company, right, that I've ever utilized. nodaFi was one of the easiest, if not the easiest, because again, like I said, it was already kind of out of the box ready. I didn't have to buy iPads, or there's no technology expense for us, right? You just tell your maintenance technicians or people in the field, download this app, right? And you can create pretty easy user guides. And then once you get in there, the software itself is so easy to use. It is clicking on a ticket. There's a camera icon when you need to take a photo, right? Most other software, there's so many complications. You get those, tons of employees struggling with different aspects, but it is so easy to use. And then you can also set it up for success where you can make tickets auto point the direction that you wanted to. So you're limiting human error through the way that nodaFi was set up. So we decided to put nodaFi stickers next to every unit, which I don't know if everyone else in the self-storage has done that. And then you have to assign each unit as an asset. So you have to actually, if I'm at unit A23, I have to code that sticker to A23. So that way a customer can use it, or my folks in the field can walk up and say, oh, this unit's vacant. They can scan the QR code and generate a ticket. Occupancy is going to go up because you have less reasons why customers want to move out. If you are showing a level of care, taking care of the issues that they're reporting, you're going to have a happier customer and a longer term customer. The idea that they can either do that through a phone call or through nodaFi, huge. That I think has been our game changer, where we aren't necessarily moving in more customers because of nodaFi, but we're losing less customers because of nodaFi, right? We're able to keep a higher brand standard just because of, we're doing things with like video walkthroughs, and we're creating tickets in nodaFi to have people record videos and put them into a Dropbox for us, and we'll review them. It's kind of hard to catch everything, even in our videos that we're doing, because I can see like the grounds, but we're not having them open 500 storage doors while these videos are happening. That would take maybe an 8-hour video. It's an 18-minute video of just walking the grounds and seeing overall what it looks like. So we can learn a lot because of nodaFi. And by doing that, again, finding out what's going on at the site, you can get units turned around, rent ready. And the higher occupied you are, those units become so much more important. If we find a unit that is supposed to be vacant, so it's supposed to be empty, but it has customer stuff inside of it, okay? So it's full of stuff. What do you do, right? So how do I know that then when a customer goes to move in a week from now, that they're going to have a good experience, that they're not going to find, God, no, you wouldn't even want, I don't even want to tell you what people store or things that happen in these units, but like, how do I know that they're not going to find any of those things? It's because I have a photo that showed me what was in that unit before, or somebody moves into the wrong space. I can know on August 27th, hey, it was empty. So now we just have to figure out what happened between August 27th and September, or whatever. It's important for us to then know that, what is the status of all these units. Even more importantly, what we are able to do it where we don't tell them the status. They can click on it and choose based off of what they're seeing. So then we know, are they doing their jobs or not? We can validate, are they actually checking these units? Are they cleaning them? Are they missing customers that are vacating or not? We would tell them to do these unit audits and give them an Excel spreadsheet to do it. What I never knew, though, was were they actually doing it or not? Because they could just look at it and say, yep, I did it. Here's your ticket back. I said I did it. But now, because of nodaFi, we can say, you know what? No. These go recheck these 5 units. I know there's a big question on ROI. Where the return is going to come is that customer satisfaction, that you would need to almost compare, like, what was my average length of stay for tenants before nodaFi versus after nodaFi? What's my Google review scores looking like? What is my, the customer complaints, their decreased calls in the call center, that sort of thing. You would almost have to look at it differently, and where you could save time in so many different ways differently. We were 3.4 stars back in January of this year. And then now we're up to 3.9 as an organization. We're not completely foolproof, but it does take you to that next level. I went to the Illinois conference, this was like last year, and was talking to anyone that I could about nodaFi in a positive way. So without question, I would recommend, and I continue to recommend nodaFi. It is giving us another level of oversight that we did not have.